Me YouTube today. How are we doing that today? Be censorious. As I think that's what the tube is about. I think that's what it's about right now, and it can go fuck itself. I made sure that was after 7 seconds, right? Right, YouTube? Fucking stupid ass platform, I swear to God. Some coffee. I kind of want to stand. I don't really want to sit yet. I'm not in the mood for sitting. I'll figure this out. Yeah. What's up, Barda? Show me. See if I can scoot this over here. Will this work? Yeah, I guess this works. Kind of. Not really. I thought this would work. It keeps sliding. God damn it. Well, will you, like, please? Oh, okay. I think I might have just... okay, there we go. Cool. Here, I'll do this quick. What's up, Zooks? What's up, baby? What's up, boo-boo? You at work? Lame. Nope, it's gonna drop. Nah, that's still there. Still there. But I just had coffee yell at me. I didn't think that was possible. Me and Logan might hang out a little bit later here. Just kind of chilling. If anything, I just got like shit to bitch about right now. Because I've noticed YouTube's got some new fucking policies that are retarded as fuck. And I'm just like, what? And it's over like comments. I don't know if you've noticed it. I don't know if you like make comments often on YouTube, like the comment sections at all or anything, but I do. And there's been some weird fucking dumb shit that YouTube's done. And they haven't even said anything about it either. It's just something that just like, boop, popped out of nowhere. I've been noticing it like the last couple days, and I didn't really think anything of it up until like today. Because it's ridiculous, like legitimately. Like basically, the idea is that like, they will literally actively, like the algorithm itself will actively look for like certain shit, you know, in comments before you even fucking post the shit, dude. Like you'll post a comment, and like a part of like the process of a comment being posted now at this point is that it goes through like some sort of a TOS fucking check. So if your shit is quote-unquote harassment or cyberbullying, you will get suspended from making comments on YouTube for like a day or more. And it's like, what retarded fucking horse fuckery is this? Like, I mean, the idea that you could just like post a comment and you got no fucking idea that it's like fucking, you know, harassment or cyberbullying, but yeah, you get, you know, fucking hit with shit like that. And I don't even make comments that are like fucking like quote-unquote cyberbullying, at least what I would consider that shit. And frankly, I got a hot take about that too, by the way. I got a hot take about bullying at this rate, and yeah, I'll save my specific thoughts for it. Because that shit's like, that shit I'm like about done with. Because it's just like, what the fuck? Can't like barely say fucking anything. It's like I'm surprised that like YouTube hasn't like cracked down harder on vulgarity, but they actually went the exact opposite route and were like, oh hey, this is actually, you know, something people bitch about a lot. Maybe we should like cut back on this. So instead of like, you know, demonetizing you because you swear and shit, Like, now it will basically only automatically demonetize you if you have swearing in your titles or descriptions of your videos, or if you like say fuck or some sort of extra egregious vulgarity within like the first 10 seconds of your video. So like the first 10 seconds, if I'm saying shit, fuck, cunt, hell, fire or some shit, like it will demonetize me for the fuck that I said shit, cunt, fuck, but not hellfire. You know what I mean? You know, so it's just like YouTube's like weirdly enough flipped that, but now they're like far more censorious of other shit. And it's so retarded. It's so fucking stupid. It's like, please protect our communities and prevent cyberbullying and harassment. It's like, fuck you. How's that for harassment? Fuck you. Because that's my hot take, frankly. Like, honestly, this whole, like, cyberbullying shit that people are super hypersensitive about, hot take, we've gone too far. We've gone way too far with it. Like, frankly, at this point, we need to kind of, like, bring back, you know, some edge, some shock, and a little bit of bullying here and there. Especially when it comes to the far right and their open genocidal fucking rhetoric. Because that is monetizable. That's okay on the platform. But if you happen to, you know, say that they're a Nazi scum fuck parasite, oh no, you're not allowed to say that type of stuff. That might be TOS. Oh, but they could say trainees deserve to be gas chambered, and that's totally fine. So, it's fucking hypocritical bullshit, dude. And that's why I say the hot take, we should probably have more cyberbullying and shit, because they accept that shit. They normalize that type of stuff. They just only allow it from the fucking far right wing of things, versus, you know, some progressive lefty type that might be a little too raunchy. It's fucking stupid. I mean, it's like, because there's literal open fucking Nazis on this platform and shit, and yet some radical lefty like me, you know, gets censored, you know, for a comment on YouTube. Like, I mean, it's not the platform, it's not like my channel itself, it's just that I can't make comments right now for like a full 24 hours. Like, I can't post a comment on someone's video, which is stupid. It's like, I get the whole, like, cyberbullet bullshit in a sense that someone, like, directly reports you and shit, but since when the fuck is YouTube's job to basically dictate what the fuck I say? Go fuck yourself. I think, therefore I am, and I say, and therefore that's how I speak, fucker. You don't get to control what I say, and how I say it. Because evidently, you let motherfuckers like Matt Walsh on his platform, and they can openly talk about hanging people, and inciting bomb threats. But someone like me saying we should be prepared for a motherfucker like that, that's too far. It's like, fuck that shit. God, too fucking sensitive. Sit that controls speech for fear. Well, YouTube does similar shit, I guess. That's why no one inherently ever really believes in the concept of fucking free speech and shit. It's not really like a... And honestly, I don't even think it was really ever a true idea that could be really culminated into a sense of, like, actual genuine principle. Like, obviously, you know, you can say whatever you want in a sense, but what you say has fuck consequences, right? I mean, it's like, pretty much as societally, we've come to understand that shit, right? So it's just like, really, it's about where you draw this fucking line. And so far, we have become way, like, frankly, legitimately, a little too sensitive with the idea that, like, oh, you know, someone might be a little mean. It's just like, get over it. Like, seriously, it's like, Jesus. And this is somebody that literally has, you know, it's like a bisexual motherfucker and shit. Who will be like, oh, you know, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, you're a faggot. Look at you, you pro-trainer motherfucker. And all that shit. It's like, you know, it's like, what? You think, you know, I'm just gonna sit there and be like, how dare you, you're so pathetic. It's like, I'm gonna throw shit back at them. I'm gonna say they're a Nazi scumfuck parasite. Fuck them. Throw some shit back at him, you know? Throw the shade back. That's what I say. And frankly, we got, like, you know, and all things considered, it's just like, you know, I don't think we really have much time to be, like, pitter-pantering about, like, you know, what is appropriate to say, what's not to say, when it comes to, like, trans people being literally fucking criminalized and shit like that, right? So dumb. Because, like, wasn't this whole, like, adpocalypse YouTube did back in 2014 and 15 and shit, like, wasn't that meant to try to curtail this whole far-right shit? Oh, no, not really. If anything, it just gave it an opportunity to dog whistle itself and to psyop its way into the mainstream. That's what that fucking shit did. To give these fucking far-right fascists an opportunity to culminate themselves into a mainstream fucking sphere and into the mainstream zeitgeist. And now look what the fuck we're in. Because now they're in the mainstream to an extent. Glad I'm not trans. While the fascists are worried about them, I can slip away. Yes, but every man for yourself down here if you aren't. Well, it shouldn't be. I don't like Stefan's fucking, like, position of that either. Of, like, oh, you know, let me just let the states do literally whatever the fuck they want, to the point where you just, like, leave people behind, you know, in other states. It's like, I don't agree with that at all. Fuck that. Just because there might be, like, 5 trans people, like, you know, in Alabama, doesn't mean we just fucking abandon them. Or just let them be killed or kill themselves. Like, fuck that. Like, that's retarded. Like, even if there was just one trans person in existence in Alabama, I would still say fuck that. It's bullshit. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I get it. And to an extent, you gotta worry about yourself more, you know, first. But it's pragmatic to say we can't save everyone. Sure. But does that mean you don't? Sure, it's pragmatic to say that, yeah, not literally every single person can be saved. That's obvious. Like, I mean, same thing for the fucking Holocaust, right? With the Nazis in World War II, right? Couldn't save every single one of them. Not the point, though. Right? What's up, baby? I mean, it's just because, like, we fucking, you know, it's like, because there was, you know, for a long time, though, you know, it's like, especially back in World War II and stuff, there was, like, a period where people were like, it's pragmatic to not get involved. But what did that end up resulting in? Like, this side, like, the whole Neville Chamberlain, like, philosophy of just, like, worry, you know, about your own shit and, like, and not, you know, realizing the international threat of this type of fucking problem is dangerous. It actually is fucking dangerous. And it's like, because it does give basically carte blanche for the far right to gain power and garner power, especially where they already have it. I know you and I know you and I have the... Ooh, me? I mean, I doubt it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna go out of my way to fucking be some one-man army or some shit. Like, fuck. You know? Like, I ain't gonna be doing that shit. I ain't stupid. Because, like, I mean... you know, because like I said, I mean, despite the, you know, my broader philosophy being more against the general, like, pretty much like chamberlism, you know, if, like, you know, so honestly, that's kind of what I want to call it. It's like chamberism, you know, with, like, from Neville Chamberlain's philosophy of just, like, hands-off approach. You know, just worry about domestic affairs and worry about your own country, but don't worry about the Germans because, the Germans can handle it. Or, oh, as long as we just, like, let them, you know... be left alone to do their thing, they will leave us alone. And we could just focus on our shit. That doesn't work. And I've tried telling Rissy this stuff. Maybe I need to honestly, like, let him know directly the historical shit. Because I don't want to do the old Godwin's Law with him on this, but frankly, he needs to understand that. Wouldn't it be more isolationism? Not really. Because Neville Chamberlain wasn't a full-on isolationist. Like, he did, like, internationally, like, on the table, like negotiate and, talk with, not just the Germans, but other nations. And and part of it was to try to quell fascism in Europe. That was a lot of reason why he would basically take the hands-off approach. Oh, if we just let the fascists, in Germany, take, things here and there, take a little land there, this and that here, they will leave us alone. Surely, this whole fascist endeavor is not going to be like some global conquest philosophy, right? Right? No. Fascism is not something that's localized. It's a philosophy that inherently seeks to be a very major objective global norm. Like, it will not stop until it has, basically reigned a 1,000-year global Reich, basically. Not many ways you could fight that, outside of taking a very hard stance approach of like, nope, this is a line in the sand and you ain't going across it. And if you do, it's on. Like, I mean, and I was saying that from last night. So, like, it's like when you have someone who's a fascist, but they're willing to cross the line and say, no, I'm going to do what I think is the best case scenario, and I'm going to put you to the fucking sword for it. That's when you draw the fucking line and say it's on. And this whole approach of just like, oh, it's hands-off approach and just like, like handles things strictly in a diplomatic manner. Fascists don't know what that is. They don't comprehend those ideas. Like, they only understand things through militarism. And that's why there needs to be a hard-line approach when it comes to addressing fascism, at least on a political level. That doesn't mean you just, like, treat everybody that might have, like, one or two takes, like I said last night. But that means that you at least, understand what the actual ideology is, and you understand like how to, get people away from that. Because frankly, there's a lot of different ideas things. So if like the manosphere shit, if like a lot of this whole culture war bullshit, there's a lot of things that a lot of like, people that just frankly are not, educated properly, will look at shit like that and be like, yeah, I think that's right. And it's just because nobody basically, was there to actually let them know, like, hey, no, it's not like the trans people, it's not the Druze, it's not this or that, it's not the black people or whatever the fuck, it's not the immigrant. It's not that's the cause of your ills or your woes, or the bad experiences in your life, or the fact that you just don't know better, or whatever the fuck. It's not like inherently their fault either. It's the fault of the ideology that perpetuates this shit. Which, frankly, what really does enable a lot of this fucking problems is capitalism. Because it's what leads to people to such extremes, to go to such radical bents, and especially when there's profit to be made on scapegoating people, and scapegoating different groups, so, there can be a lot more of a profit motive for things like that. It's just like, I mean, it's a wonder why, things like the culture war are such prominent little social wedge issues and red herrings. Even if they are legitimate problems. Like, in the sense that they're, being discriminated against and being harassed and targeted. Like, those are legitimate, serious problems. But at the end of the day, it's because it's been gaslit. People have been gaslit to think that they are real fucking problems. They have like a religious belief, basically, thinking that there's like some sort of, like bigger thing that's, out there in the world that's like out to get them. It's like, it's straight up like a spiritual belief. There ain't nothing material about it. It's not based on anything, concrete in reality, outside the fact that they saw a trans person exist once, either online or in person. God damn it. If really wants someone to educate, they'll seek out the information. No, they won't. Like, I mean, that's the problem. Most people, if they want to learn stuff, usually they're not going to go out of their way to go seek that information. Usually it's because somebody or something got them curious enough to maybe explore that idea further. I don't just go like randomly out of fucking random blue go learn shit. Like, I'm like, I want to seek out some information. Let me just go randomly go look something up, you know, to go find something, you know, to learn about. I don't do shit like that. What I do, though, is that, like, if I happen to be, perusing YouTube shorts, for example. Like with, with yesterday, checking out that Order of the Nine Angles of that neo-Nazi satanic occult group. Like, that was because that information was presented to me, and I was curious enough to go seek more information about that app. Like, most people, especially when it comes to, like, learning out information and shit, it's because, the basis of what the fuck that is has to be presented to them. And especially in a way that hooks them into learning more about it. That's just not true. That's just not how human nature works. Also, I mean, another way of doing that is like solving problems, right? When you got problems, whether it's in your direct life or not, you're going to seek, hey, I need to, we have, problem X, and we need to solve it. And there's, like, the rest of the alphabet of different solutions. And it's just like, the correct solution for it would probably be either Y or Z, but then you got all these other random fucking, solutions that, could potentially be there. And, for some, for this person, they could either, just, like, directly figure the problem out, and eventually they realize that it is, like, Y or Z. Or somebody else can be like, hey, it's actually these ideas. Even though those aren't the actual fucking solutions to the problem. They'll say it's like all these other solutions and shit, and then get misguided. And then think that the solution to the problem is something else, when if anything, it exacerbates the problem. It continues the same reciprocal cycle. To learn for themselves? No, it's not. Why do you think, like, I mean, if that's the case, then how come we have to fucking educate children when they're growing up, right? Same thing for adults. If that's the case, then how come, like, when you go to, like, a community college or something like that, you see people who are, like, in their fucking 50s or 60s there, too. Being taught by somebody else who's probably younger than them. I mean, it's just, like, it might not necessarily be, like, a job in the sense that it's, like, something that you get paid for or whatever the fuck. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when it comes to if you want to see people's minds change, you ain't gonna be doing it being like, go fucking figure it out. Because that's how the right wing has been fucking winning, dude. If there's one thing that especially Vosh has been talking about, is this idea that leftists want to just gatekeep and just, like, say fuck you because you don't understand shit. Especially when it comes to the manosphere stuff with, like, the whole male loneliness problem. Because so many different feminists and different, progressive lefty types will just say, go fuck yourself, bro. You're a man. You're supposed to be figuring it out yourself. It's the same fucking principle there. And you think those type of men are going to just be like, oh, yeah, I should, and just go seek that information out? No, they're going to go to fucking Andrew Tate more. They're going to go to the fucking, like, Aiden Ross's more and shit like that. They're not going to be like, oh, yep, I guess, you are correct. Of course not. It's not how it works. I mean, it's just like, you can't just, like, immediately turn somebody off just because, they happen to be a right-toid or somebody from the manosphere or a fascist or some shit. Because that's just not how fucking human nature works. I mean, if you fucking be aggressive towards somebody and just be like, nah, fuck you, go figure it out or some shit, they're going to be more standoffish towards you. They're going to be more against you. They're going to be, in a lot of cases, more militant than you. I mean, at that point. So it's just like, that's not, it's just like I said, it's not really how it works. And this is coming from a dude that, like I said, when it comes to crossing a line, yeah, it's on, like I said. But but just because I meet somebody, it doesn't mean they nearly crossed the line yet. It takes some time for that to get there. And sometimes, honestly, maybe not. They're like, let's say, like these protests I've been to in, like, years back, right? Like in a couple years in the past. Like, the last one I went to was directly to counter protests against far-right fascists that were trying to do a little rally at the waterfront in Portland. And it's just like, and I'm kind of going in there thinking, yeah, I'm probably going to go, getting, my ass kicked and kicking ass. There's probably going to be a straight up fucking fight going on. When I went there, there wasn't any of that, thankfully. But, I kind of had the mindset of going into that. Though, however, if there happened to be some rightoid or some shit, being like, oh, you fucking Antifa, I'd just be like, what? And if anything, I'd probably just have a back and forth with that person. And we might have like a little back and forth. We might say fuck you and go our separate ways. But hey, we had a little back and forth instead. And that's preferable than fucking going to blows. But like I said, if that person wants to say fuck you and start trying to attack me with a bat, then I'm going to kick their ass. Or at least try. When are you allowed to, after 1,000 explorations, 10,000? I mean, that's not really, there's not like some set answer to that. And the thing is, like, this isn't like, something that like literally every single fucking person needs to like, on the left needs to do. Because obviously there's a lot of people who are good oratorically and there's a lot of people that, aren't as good about it. But at the end, it's more about the principle at the end of the day. It's like, if you want to see people's minds change, or at least see, ideas that you especially despise, like fascism, for example, then, you can't just simply be like, well, eradicate all of them. Or just like, fuck them. Or fuck off, or whatever the fuck. Because that just, incites them further to be like, oh, well, fuck it, you then. I guess, I'm going to stick over here then. I'm staying on my side. Damn it. I need to get some more lighters. Try to explain to my stepdad. Your stepdad's like fucking 70. You think I'm talking about like 70-year-olds? I'm not specifically talking about like old ass fucking boomer farts here. Like, there are a lot of like fat shit right-wing types that are your age or younger. A lot of them tend to be fucking teenagers too, by the way. Like a lot of the manosphere types, like a lot of like younger men especially, a lot of them tend to be like literally in their teens who aren't even adults yet. You think telling them to fuck off is gonna, make them feel better about themselves? Like some 70-year-old old man, chances are that guy's set in his ways. And frankly, it's your fucking stepdad. Of course he's set in his fucking ways. We've talked about him enough on here. Not every single fucking dude who thinks that way is exactly like him in the sense that is bullheaded and stubborn and shit. There's probably people that are like fucking, 15, 16, up until they're like 22 or some shit that, fucking, believe the same thing. But nonetheless are probably, under the gumption of being misguided by like some Andrew Tate fuck more so than like growing up in a mass culture of like, that, enforces this whole neo-Confederate bullshit like your stepdad is into. As a matter of principle, get out my lawn, damn kids. Well, fuck, dude. Oh my god. It's like talking online sphere here. Or at least, like, in a public sphere. Not, like, on your fucking lawn, dude. Well, I guess, for kids, in this case, an education setting. For, like, at a school. Or a park. Or whatever the fuck. Or fuck. Even like a cousin of some shit. I got like cousins and nephews and... Well, not nephews, but I got like cousins and shit like that. Who are like who are like fucking teenagers, and some of them are even way fucking younger than that. And, when I visit them, they ask me all sorts of fucking questions. Like, all sorts of shit. Like, I remember, one of my step-cousins, actually, he straight up, like... was pontificating about, like, the meaning of the universe at the age of fucking, like, 10. Like, he was asking me, it's like, do you think we just live in one universe or, like, a bunch of them? And I was like, what? I was like, wait, what? I'm like, man, that's, like, something I'm barely, wrapping my head around. And it's like, and this little kid is thinking about it? Like, what the fuck? And I just straight up told him, like, well, just because, we're in this universe, like, we know that we at least are in one, and, because it's so massive and so big, and we only know so little of it, it's unknown whether there might be more than one universe. And he was just like, I think there might be more than one universe. I think there's multiverses. He just like straight up like flat out said it without a fuck after that, and I'm just like, it's almost like honestly, I kind of do too in a way. Can't really prove it, but it's possible. I mean, it was honestly kind of interesting. Like, and it was like some 10-year-old. I mean, it's just like, and honestly, a lot of, like these type of people that might get, warped into these fucking ideas and shit tend to be, like curious little bees like that. And they just happen to be asking questions to, frankly, the wrong people. And they give them fucking crazy answers. And they just go with it. Because they're info sponges. Sounds like Calvin isn't into most of it. Well, because he's a fucking idiot. And you're not making me upset. I'm just saying that, like, I guess a little frustrated with the whole just, like, fuck it a little bit, but, I'm not, like, upset or nothing. If anything, just a little passionate of the idea. But, it's because, like I said, like, having, like, kind of that Neville Chamberlain kind of approach to it, like, historically, has led to some pretty fucking bad results. And taking a little bit more of a harder, stern approach seems to have led to far better results. It's like, sure, is taking a hardline approach more messier? Yeah, sure, yeah, it is. But frankly, it does lead to better outcomes. Because the hands-off approach is a lot more of a destructive outcome. Far more destructive. We've seen it. We've seen, like, what happens when millions and millions and millions of people fucking died over an idea like that. When those lives could possibly have been saved. Seriously, like, hypothetically, if like, France and Britain actually took a hardline approach, like, during Anschluss with Austria and the Sudetenland grab and shit, and stopped Hitler there, and actually took an offensive approach at that point, that it probably legitimately would have, led to some legitimately better outcomes. Seriously, I'm not fucking kidding. I do think that the world probably would have been better off if that was the case. Granted, it'd be far fucking different. And honestly, would that mean that, like, Nazism or fascism is, like, gone forever? Probably not, but it'd be a lot more of a weaker idea. And it would not be nowhere near as prominent. At least in my opinion. We should have done a regime change in Germany in 1933. America doing it? No. I still think France and fucking the UK should have done it. But they were too hurting from the fucking Great War, and they thought, oh, we don't want this happening again. I think they underestimated the advancement of technology. Because France, when the Blitzkrieg happened, especially, and this is partly why Aaron Rommel, at least early on, his Panzer Battalion was known as Ghost Division, was because Germany learned from a lot of the different mistakes from the Great War. And a lot of the military doctrines of the UK and France at the time were still the same. Still that trench warfare, like line infantry style fucking doctrine that was like seen from, kind of like a modernization of the Napoleonic era. And Germany modernized their military doctrine very rapidly and did mass rapid production and advancement when it comes to, armor and tanks. And basically, from there, essentially like totally changed the rules of warfare from that to where it was basically blitzkrieg armor tactics. Which, if you got like a Maginot Line or like, fucking trench warfare shit basically as your main form of doctrine, it's gonna get crumbled. It's gonna get fucking crushed. And it did. They decided to stagnate instead of actually fucking adapt to a real fucking threat. Can't die before the Holocaust to thoroughly discredit them, otherwise it dies a martyr's death. Do we really truly know that? Before it could commit its atrocities, it would have died a martyr's death, it would have been glorified even worse than it is now. I guess. I can understand, I can see that, but it would have to at least, I don't know about that really though. Sure, but we see that now. Again, we see that right now though. Like, unironically, if you go on fucking YouTube comment sections, man, Like, seriously, whether it's on YouTube Shorts or just random fucking videos, like, every now and then, especially if, like, it has anything to do with, like, World War II, especially, or, like, Germans, or, you know, especially, like, the Nazis, I swear to fuck, dude, go in those comment sections, man, and sort of by the newest. Because, unironically, there are straight up fucking, like, you know, comments that will basically do, like, the glorification of, like, the martyrdom shit that you're talking about now. And it's pretty fucking widespread. Like, there are unironically people now that, like, think, you know, they died martyrs. Because, I mean, this is why I kind of disagree, because think about it. The reason why they are is because they did the atrocities. Because they seen, oh, they were this close to achieving their shit. But then the global cabal, you know, was able to, you know, was unfortunately able to, you know, like quell their glorious advance, and unfortunately, you know, had to be put underground for a while. And now we're ready and coming back because they realize that people are starting to be aware again, and blah 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 and all this other shit. So, I mean, I don't know about it. Like, if it basically, you know, became some weird radical idea that, you know, just kind of popped up, but then got kind of succumbed out of the way a little bit, and just kind of, you know, was a little blip in it, you know, kind of like an ideological, like, radar for a while. I mean, to me, it just doesn't seem like it would be as much of a prominent philosophy. I mean, maybe it just would have been more prominent maybe later down the line. So maybe, like, World War II, hypothetically, probably would have been more, like, during the Cold War era or some shit. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, you know, literally everything would just be peachy kings and, you know, sunshine rainbows and shit. You know, but, you know, when it comes to at least, you know, these broader threats, especially, you know, when it comes to fascism today, it's just like a lot of its prominence is due to the fact that it was a soft-handed approach from the very fucking beginning. If Neville Chamberlain in fucking France, you know, actually took a hard fucking approach instead of being liberal compromisers and centrists with the issue and a hands-off approach, I'd still do think that fascism would not be as prominent. Granted, we'd still have a lot of authoritarianism, we'd still have a lot of, you know, extremism and stuff. Like, these things would still exist, for sure. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen, but at least when it comes to, like, the direct core ideological threats of fascism, especially when it comes to mass genocide of Reagan, the way that it portrays itself around, and especially towards things like around anti-Semitism and shit, I mean, it's just like, that's a little different than just, like, you know, war hawk and conservatism. You know, both are shit. But, you know, to me, there's still a major difference between the two. Would have happened regardless of Mussolini existing or not. Well, sure. Fashion might be called something else without Mussolini. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll grant that. I'm just saying, really, at the end of the day, if you really want to see, like, an actual quelling of this type of idea, like, yeah, you definitely need to take a hardline approach with it, and be vigilant, especially with that. But, I mean, you also have to try to make sure that, you know, people, like, at least have, you know, some sort of, you know, education, or at least, you know, willingness to try to, like, you know, change your mind and divert them away from that. Because it's not just as simple as just, like, you know, stopping, you know, the main influences of that ideology and it all goes away. I mean, idea can never be truly killed, you know? So it's just like, I mean, the best way to really at least kill in, you know, in a figurative sense is to, you know, like, just change as many people's minds away from it, or, you know, get people as, like, ideologically far as from it as possible. Essentially. Because at that point, you know, an idea like that is essentially dead. I mean, you think, like, you know, a lot of, like, I mean, at least for example for religion, I mean, you think a lot of, like, you know, the old ancient religions from, like, the caveman days still exist. Those are dead ideas. Those pretty much aren't a thing anymore. I mean, we know what they are. We understand they were ideas. But is anyone really believing in, like, caveman's, you know, star dads and shit? Like, you know, yeah, like, I mean, no. I mean, it's like these ideas have changed over time, you know, but at the end of the day, it's just like these old concepts of what, you know, and older ideas aren't a thing anymore. It's because essentially better ideas, reign supreme over them, and those ideas were obsolete. Same premise. Can't fight ideas with bullets or bulletproof. V for Dennis should have taught you that. That's what I'm saying. You can't kill an idea. You're just saying what I'm saying, but you're just using a movie reference. I need to see that movie again. It's a good movie. Double-edged sword, I just save those not too far gone to exchange strikes to deal with leadership. I guess figuratively. Because at the very least, like when it comes to the main influencers and propagandists of these ideas and philosophies, absolutely. Get that little bowl loaded up now. There we go. And shaboom. Shaboom, shaboom, boom, boom. Here, let's see. See if I got an update from my homeboy, y'all. Oh, okay, yeah, I did respond. Cool. Yeah. Here, hold on. I'm gonna hold this for a second. Do this really quick. Do this for a second for intermittence. Intermission. Do that. There we go. Boom. Alright. The god of doggos appear. What? Zhukov? He's right here. He's been chilling here. What's up, boo-boo? You're a blur. You literally are a blur, dude. Hold on. Let me do this. Let's see if this fixes it. Oh, it does, kind of. Oh my goodness, look at you. Oh my goodness, look at you. Oh my goodness, you sweet boy. Oh, you little adorable face. It's a boy. He is a little handsome boy. Come on. Okay, there we go. He's been a little good boy today, too. Honestly, I'm just kind of happy that he's been a good boy at the dog parks, too. Because, like, one thing I was a little worried because he, at least initially wasn't really getting that much social attention with other canines, that he'd probably not get along. But honestly, that's pretty much the opposite case. Like, he doesn't exactly, like, have, a total understanding of what, like, all to do, so to speak. Like, there would be all other dogs being like, play with me. But he would just kind of be like, what do I do? He would just kind of sit there and be like, what do I do to this? I don't know. But, all in all, though, he will, chase pups around, get chased around and stuff like that. So, I mean, he plays around. But you did a good little boy. A little too much for your own good, though. Because, like, every now and then, you'll get, like, a dog that doesn't really like you too much. It's telling you to fuck off, and you don't know the emphasis of that. She's so cute. She's wagging a little tail. Yeah, you like getting a little confirmation, affirmation? You like the little validation you're getting? Is that little validation making that little tail go? Just a little... So cute. Are you feeling validated? He's so cute. You're just a sweet boy. You're just a sweet boy. Too bad I can't go, play pool. Because everybody loved you at the pub. Well, so did the fucking place. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, everyone loved you at that little pub, and now no one can see you anymore. Unless you're outside, but then you'll freak the fuck out, because you hate being outside by yourself. It's getting more and more insufferable by the day. I mean, sadly, what else is new? Oh. Stretchy. What? What's up, Stretchy? Oh. Goober. What a goober little dog. He's just so silly. By somebody else. Who the fuck do you take me for? Some sort of weird puritanical prude? Dude, if there's a state that, legal or not, yeah, I'm gonna find a way to get that weed. Okay? Like, honestly, that's just kind of a prerequisite. Like, if I ever had to, like, move to another state for whatever fucking reason, that's a prerequisite. Like, it has to be a recreational state. Like, straight the fuck up. Or a medical state. That's not strict. Like, honestly. Like, it has to be, like, loose medical or fucking recreational. Or, or no. Period. Because, like, I mean, it's not that, like, it plays that big of a fucking role in my life, but, it definitely does help with things like anxiety when it comes to, like, gut issues, and shit like that. Whether it's, like, having irritable bowels every now and then, or just, like, my gut, like, my stomach kind of feeling a little sick before, try to eat something. Like, if I'm hungry, sometimes straight up, like, I'll actually feel sick. Like, and, it doesn't last forever. It lasts, like, 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but those, like, 20, 30 minutes, I'm just like, oh, fuck, and I feel like I'm about to, like, puke and shit, even though I don't, it's just, like, that feeling, and usually during that period, it's obviously like, yo, you need to eat something, but, at the same time, I can't really, because my body would, not feel good, and, make me feel a little worse, and it's just like, ugh. But smoking a little toke or something actually does alleviate that. And, and does make it easier, when it comes to, like, eating something at the beginning of the day or some shit like that. So, I mean, it's like, it to me, it definitely does have, like, some medical benefits for sure. But, at the end of the day, it's just like, I'd rather have that. And I could adapt and be able to, change given circumstances when they apply, but, like I said, it's kind of like a prerequisite. And besides, like, half the country on one way or another is either rec or medical, so it doesn't really leave that many states, off the list. And usually those states are already off that list anyway. Like Idaho, for example. Like, there ain't no way fucking hell I'm living there. I'll pass through that state and I'll spend the night in that state, but there ain't no way I'm spending more than that. It's like pretty much the maximum time I've ever spent in Idaho is usually like an overnight stay at either like my dad's friend's place or in Boise or fucking like a hotel. Like, I mean, the times that I've ever passed through, it's usually one or the other. You should try to avoid being there for more than 24 hours. Fuck that state. Fine. So you don't have to drive when we don't have a lot of experience. That's fair. I'll hit it up a little bit later today about, seeing if maybe still possibly, go down to Bama, even if it's for like a couple days. Because if needed, obviously I could pay for my flight from Bama to Arizona. That's not a problem at all. If anything's probably good to try to maybe get tickets now for that, you know, at least for me, just all things considered, just because, you know, probably be a little cheaper doing it now versus later, so. Man, I'm buying all sorts of tickets right now. I got fucking concert tickets, these fucking airline tickets, a train ticket. God, I got all sorts of tickets I need to get. Ugh. Dude, I'm gonna be doing so much flying this year. Dude, with the airline industry, with it is. Oh, fuck, man. See, like, the only reason why I want to fly right now is just because of the airline industry and how fucked they are. Trying to cut back on, like, fucking pilots. Trying to fucking, like, you know, skirt fucking, like, safety maintenance and shit and all this other fucking garbage. It's like, oh, God. Like, I'm not exactly fond of that. Flying is definitely more safer, and I do prefer that more than anything. But, fuck, dude. Like, I really don't want to deal with the, like, airline industries. We just need to nationalize our fucking airlines. Like, honestly. Because, like, I mean, there needs to be, like, a balance between, like, how many people are in a plane versus, like, you know, comfortability. Like, I mean, because I shit you fucking not. Go look up, like, commercial airline aircraft from, like, the 50s to the fucking 80s. Like, I shit you not. And tell me there's a, you know, not a difference. Like, because back then, they had a sense of actually, you know, putting a balance between comfortability and, you know, putting people in planes. So it's just like, the fuck? I mean, it's like we can't, you know, do that anymore. It's like we have to cram as many people in like fucking sardines because we're, you know, for-profit piece of shit. On the flip side, check Phoenix, Portland at worst 120, at best 90. Dude, yeah, flight to Phoenix is cheap. I remember going there back in 2015 for Christmas when I was visiting my granddad down there. Ticket was like fucking $80 back then. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure obviously it's bumped up as, you know, I could see. But, yeah, it's not really that bad. I heard a door and now I'm hearing my dog bark. I know I'm linking up with my friend. I think this might be my friend. I have no idea. Took off. Hey. What's up, boy? Hey, Grody boy. Hey. Hold up. Back up, buddy. Yeah, damn, it's actually kind of a nice day out there. And yes, he is a dork boy. Yeah, let's go outside for a sec. It's actually nice and sunny out there. I actually think it might have been the mail. There you are. Yeah, what? Dude, your dad burnt your fucking, like, flag? Wow, bro. An insult to his Confederacy. Dude, you should find... Dude, if he has a flag, you should burn that before you leave. I'm not even kidding. Like, take all of his flags, even. Like, find every flag that he has and just burn that shit. Oh, you want to see something that I have? Look at that. I found this abandoned. And I was just like, you know what? It's mine now. Who thought that be? Chubadaba. What's up, man?
Did you get anything off the porch this morning?
Yeah, I actually thought that was my package, so I did. Oh, I did open it up thinking it was mine. I realized, oh, this isn't mine. And I went, oh, no, your name's on it.
No, it's my new charger.
Huh.
It's a fucking 3-in-1.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks pretty dope.
That's the fucking price.
I'm assuming expensive.
Fucking $30.
It's actually not bad.
But it's a 3-in-1 and is made for my second.
Second one. Oh my god, you crazy boy. In no way endorses vandalism. All content satire. I said I found it abandoned. I'm not kidding. It was literally abandoned on like a trail. Like a bike trail. Like somebody else like fucked with that shit. And I just decided to, you know, clean it up.
Headphone clutch. Huh.
Nice.
Don't fuck with my shit.
I'm talking about the flags. Oh.
Here. There's still one.
Okay. Flags. Well, you know, hey. You know, it's like literally even the Supreme Court has said that, like, you know, flag burning is freedom of expression. So. So whichever type of flag you get, whatever it is, of any type, say okay. Let's see, do a little mail check. Oh, I think some stuff in my shown. Oh, yes it did. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Ooh. Oh, I think this is my pin. Zooks, come back here. Oh my god, zoomies. Zoomies. So thinking Barkin was either my roommate or fucking this mail. Let's put that there. What else is here? Mama. Yeah.
What do you want?
Ooh, we got a box opening now. Oh my goodness.
Can I hear something funny? Got my income tax yesterday. I got my state. Paid off my credit card. Guess what came this morning?
What?
A check.
Nice.
I got direct deposit on my check. That's what it's easier.
Yep, it is. Oh. Yeah, it is. Wait, is this already? Oh, it says free gift, so. Oh, okay. I was just like confused. I was like, wait, did I get did I send. Like, I deadass thought, like, so, it's right here. I was like, what the fuck? But I have another East German pin that was gifted. This actually looks like a firefighter's pin, like an East German firefighter's pin or something. I've actually seen these. This is like a second class, so like, you know, if basically this is given to, service workers, basically that obviously would, show exceptional merit, while doing firefighting duties and would get things like this, or at least when it comes to like specializations and shit like that. That took 60% of his pay as dues. That just sounds like a bunch of horse shit, dude. Dude, union dues are not like over half of your fucking pay. Like, what the fuck? And here's the one I got. Well, look at that bad boy. I like it. Here, let's get this light more like right up here so you can get a nice good shine to it. Yeah. Get a little zoom in on right there. Here, is there a way to, actually I could do it like this. Yeah. Here, well, yeah, there we go. I kind of see that right there. Here's what it says on the back. Doop. Doop, 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 doop. There we go. Cool. Yeah. Says Verblendung ist bei der Gründung und Festigung der DDR. So, let's see what that translates to. As far as unions are run by the mafia. Yeah, maybe back in, like, the fucking, like, maybe honestly back in his day, in, like, fucking, like, Chicago or New York with, like, the Teamsters. But, like, with some random, just, like, local union, like, mill workers union or some shit, like, bullfuck, dude. Like, the whole mob thing was also, the reason why that was the case was because the unions literally had no one else to go to. The government would, say, go fuck yourself because, like, they were paid in by the corporations and the bosses to say, oh, fuck you. So it was basically a way to essentially, and obviously the cops weren't protecting them, so, and, like, not many other people besides maybe a few others from the local community would be like, oh, well, yeah, go union. So basically, they went to the mob for that shit. Especially when it came to protections against strike busting and shit like that. So it's like, and yeah, again, like, for places like Chicago and New York and things like that, for like Teamsters and shit, I mean, it wasn't like literally fucking everywhere. I mean, it wasn't even like that big of a prominent influence within unions nationally. I mean, regionally, but not nationally. That's just stupid. And it was only for, like a certain, like, specific time frame, too. And it was more or less because those unions were fucking desperate to protect strikers. Well, that's what they did. And honestly, because the mob would also be in the will have some of the cops in their pockets. If some of those cops in the pockets showed up to that strike break and noticed that some of the mob's, fellas were in there as well, suddenly they'd be like, hey, boys, hey, we'll just observe. We'll make sure they're not doing nothing wrong, but we'll just stand here. Because if they weren't there, they'd be like, alright, you fucking striking union commies, break it up, and all that shit. But those mob bosses are there, and they're going to be like, hey, boys, hey, just chill. And we'll sit there, and we'll just watch, and, the union will just keep doing their strike, and nothing really happens. And also, it was a way for the mobs, too, to basically kind of strong-arm the corporate bosses, too, because wouldn't it be a shame if the factory got really fucked up, or the warehouse got, banged out and looted? Wouldn't that be just such a shame? Oh, well, probably should have paid those workers better, because it seemed like they didn't care enough, considering how shitty they were being paid to protect their stuff, or protect the property. Shame. I mean, there was legit reasons for it. Not really, not saying that they were good. I mean, honestly, it was out of desperation, like I said. It's just like, and frankly, it's just like, I mean, there was unions back in, like, the early 1900s and shit that did similar stuff, like, where they would go to, different, gangs and shit that would be in town and be like, hey, we'll give you some money as long as, be like, some, like, guys with bats for us in case the cops or scabs show up to try to fuck with us. Or, hey, we'll pay you this much so you can kind of fuck the factory up a little bit while we're on strike. Stuff like that. It's just like, there were, like, that shit would happen, and sure. And it's kind of like the dirty politics, when it comes to labor, frankly. It's some of the more, like, grittier and, frankly, corrupt elements of, labor action. I mean, it's not something I agree with personally, but it's something I understand and understand where the circumstances come from. But nonetheless, don't agree with it. Because it kind of undermines the whole point of the labor movement when you start organizing with, like, corrupt organizations or criminal organizations like the fucking mafia. Because now you got people like your stepdad being fucking retarded if you think mafias and unions are, like, one and the same or some shit. So it's like, I can understand the desperation, but it's not the right way to go with it. I mean, because there's different times of desperation that, unions have taken far better approaches in addressing the issue, and have, in a way, have had either similar outcomes or sometimes even better outcomes. So, all in all, I mean, that's not really, like, the best tack to go with things. And honestly, especially if it was, like, a new up-and-coming union, and they're like, hey, maybe we should hire, like, these type of people. And it's like, it's just like, it's just like, I don't know about that. Sounds like we're starting to get into waters that, are getting a little dirty. And I don't want that. Doesn't make us look good. I understand the circumstances, but let's not do that. Random question at the end of the thing, do you think Childs is affected? Yeah. Yeah, I need to get some new lighters. Fuck. God damn it. The glorious pool stick. And yes, I have it in my gun safe. This is my third gun right here. The Pool Stick Mark III. Takes about 16-ounce black powder loads. Barely hits the broadside of a barn, but goddamn is fun to shoot. It'd be incredibly bitter if both were human by the thought of each other were infected, and that was my headcanon. Well, considering the fucking, shit that they went through, yeah, I can understand why they probably would think that. I mean, fuck, they would probably be so traumatized due to that shit that they would probably think literally anybody probably is. They would probably go live in their daily life thinking that, like, their date, is probably fucking the thing. You know what I mean? Dude, I mean, whether they are or not, they're probably, are so heavily traumatized from the experience that, they're probably just end up becoming insane and paranoidally insane because they probably think that anybody could be it. Even themselves, potentially. Frankly, it probably, all things considered, they probably wouldn't be able to really adjust to life that much. Like, they probably would be institutionalized if you really think about it. Because who's gonna really fucking believe them, too? If as well. Like, I mean, it's just like, honestly, at the end of the day, even if one of them is, or not, they're likely going to be institutionalized and, basically become insane because, of the thought, of the thing still being out there and it could be anybody. Or maybe even following you and just taking different forms, to try to, like, trick you and shit. Yeah, because, like, all sorts of shit, man. It would fuck with your brain, dude. It would fuck with your mind. Like, and make you go insane, honestly. There's, like, a straight, like, psychological, like fucking, like, Lovecraftian horror to that shit. I mean, it's like, just thinking about it. I mean, I can honestly see, just thinking about it now, like, how it would drive someone mad. Like, and very quickly, too. Boop. What are you doing over there? The thing copies are literally clones that they think are the original person until threatened and the creature takes control. Well, knowing that the thing can basically, you know, have like the genetic code of literally every fucking being it's also consumed, I would also think that it could change forms too. So even if like the person that's physically being presented thinks that they're still, you know, them, like, I mean, it could also potentially like take form of a different being, and thus that person essentially thinks they just kind of like woke up or something. I just feel like they have a weird sense of amnesia, but nothing more. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, I mean, I don't know as much about the lore as you do, but just considering what I do know, though, it just kind of adds to a lot of crazy, freaky shit. It's very psychological, you know, more so than anything. Oops. This thing takes control of your consciousness. Yeah. It's incredibly creepy. It really is. But that's why I love it so much. I love horror, and especially horror that really does kind of make you think. And The Thing is definitely one of them. I think it's on YouTube. I think that whoa, that was a good catch. But I'm pretty sure that the copy of the practical effects. Ah, okay, gotcha. Here, you know what? Actually, I'm just gonna sit down for this last little bit. Not the CGI, the Studio Force on it. Ah, okay, gotcha. Oh. I found the thing that goes to the thing. Wherever the other thing went. Wow. The actual holder that actually, like, held my charger fucking, like, busted right here. And I lost it for the longest time. And I just found it. And now I'm trying to see where the other, the rest of it is. Which I guess not. About to go to work? No, actually. I'm about to go hang out with one of the homies. Go play a couple rounds of pool and shit. That's why I got my pool cue out of my gun safe. And yes, like I said, I have my pool cue in my gun safe. That's where I put it. The Harlessy? No. It's actually Logan. Him and I are gonna hang out for a little bit before he goes on his little date and shit. They might go see a movie, so, and he was thinking that, you know, depending on what they go see, they might have me tag along a little bit, which, fuck it, I'm down for it. I've been meaning to go back and try to watch some more movies and shit, because they were either thinking about watching the new Avatar movie, or Creed 3, I think it is, the new one. I haven't seen any of the Creeds, but, you know, honestly, but, fuck it, I don't care. I'm down to, you know, I'm down for that. But I know Thursday, though, tomorrow, is Cocaine Bear. Tomorrow is the pilgrimage to the Cocaine Bear. And I cannot wait for the Cocaine Bear. For the Cocaine Bear will be the greatest thing to ever bear the cocaine. Dude, this dog, man. His little weird moans and grunts. Because I'm expecting a Surge movie when you got hiding from enemies in a movie. I didn't really go in there with any expectations, honestly. Like, I've heard people's takes on the movie. I even had, like, a couple, a few little minor spoilers, given to me before watching the movie. And frankly, I'm like, okay. I kind of, heard a little bit, and I was like, alright, I'll just kind of go in there with just kind of low expectations of a sense of, like, I mean, it seems, like what I did here initially before going to the movie was interesting enough to at least watch it. And kind of, just get my own take for it. But honestly, with it, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't what I expected, I will grant that, but, I mean, I liked it for what it was. I mean, it could have definitely been better for sure. Like, I wish there was, like, a little bit more of an emphasis on, like, like a full-on battle going on and shit near the end of the film. I kind of wish there were, like, full-on skirmishes here and there. Like, and from my understanding, there's, like, a straight-up, like, 6-hour director's cut of that film. Because, of course. And I'm honestly wanting to see that, frankly. Because I feel like the director's cut probably has a little bit more of side shit that, probably has a lot of that, And maybe, like, some extra, like, little character development side plot shit, you know what I mean? Like, because if it's that long, if it's, like, very fucking long, or, like, twice as long as the movie theater blockbuster cut, then, like, yeah, there's definitely going to be some more shit going on, with that, you know what I mean? On digital only, though. Whatever. I'll still watch it. Like, I'll still watch the director's cut, straight up. Because, I mean, I think, that's where a lot of the things where I was kind of maybe hoping for, it's probably going to be in there. It's probably not going to be to the same level that I would expect it to be, though. I'm still going to kind of go in there with the same mindset, but nonetheless, like, I mean, I feel like, it's a lot more, like, developed, in the director's cut. Because from my understanding, at least, before it got released, they were just straight up, like, trying to, I think James Cameron was, like, trying to, like, put as much length to the film as possible before releasing it, because, he wanted to at least get, like, these, other elements in there and shit. But because it was already so fucking long, like, I mean, they wouldn't let him really do it, so... I mean, all in all, like, I'm kind of hoping that, a lot of the really cool shit, that, especially a lot of really cool action stuff, is kind of in that director's cut. I mean, all in all, like, the original cut right now, it's still a good movie. I personally still like it. I mean, I'd say it's on relatively the same level, at least, like, story-wise, as the first movie. I think the first movie... I think it's just because of the expectations, honestly, from the first film, because it had a lot more of that, like, full-on insurgency shit going on, right? Like you were saying. While the second movie wasn't really as much about that. So I think, that kind of maybe put a little bit of a, a bias towards that a little bit. But, I mean, again, that's kind of why I went in there, with low expectations, is, of, like, I'll see, just, like, let's see what it is. Because, I mean, it kind of teased it for a second. And I honestly feel like there is, like, an element maybe in the director's cut where there was at least a little bit of a battle and shit. But, then, it was pulled back for, basically Jake and, where, in the actual movie where that happens. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's extra shit to be had, you know what I mean? Should I buy you Prisoner Simulator? Oh my god. Or you pretend to be in prison. Don't, just save your money, dude. Jesus Christ. You don't have to be, dude, I get paid tomorrow, man. I still, like, it's like actually one of the weeks where I have, like, a bunch of money left over right now. Like, I mean, if anything, I'm actually, like, kind of, saving up myself. Like, dude, bro, I can buy, like, all these games you're telling me, like, shut up, buy this free. I could literally do that all right now. Like, State of Kings, that... Like, I don't know what else, like, all the DLCs, too. Like, I could literally buy all those, like, right the fuck now if I wanted to. Even before payday. It's like, dude, And also my wage shit might, legitimately finally get absolution, and finally get its shit resolved. So, once they continue following up the rep about that shit, then, I'll even get more money in my pocket. So it's just like, it's peer pressure. It's not my fault just go straight call you out. This is not my fault. I got better money management, brother. So, because, hey, it's like, I got bad habits, but, I honestly went on a little bit of a spree. I bought a bunch of stickers. I got, those pin, the pin, and a free pin on top of that. It's not like I don't spend my money, because I do, but I just, manage how big that hole is. Right now, it's a little baby hole where quarters are popping through. It's not a big hole where Benjis are flinging out there like it's a fucking you win the lottery or some shit. Hook up computers to play Stellaris if you overland. Do that old OG way of playing multiplayer. Just set up the LAN. Set up that LAN, bruh. Oh my god. We're gonna go OG with this, bruh. Gonna set up the LAN. Love it. Here. I get this last little bowl smoked up and hit my homie up, see what he's doing here. He said he was charging his phone, I think. He actually hasn't responded to me since I last hit him up. So I'll just give him a call. It's like, fuck it. I genocide in Stellaris because otherwise lag. I just, push through the lag like a true fucking alpha gamer. The Sigma gamer that I am, I just push through the lag. Makes you more experienced and more hardened of a gamer. Because if you can, murk bitches and fucking wreck shit while you're, got a lot of lag and 15 FPS, then you could do that with no lag and 60 FPS flawlessly. In a way, I feel like there is a little bit of an edge, because, if you, really have to, super focus because of, a little bit of lag or fucking, low FPS, and then, you're able to kind of actually, obviously, play something that's in 60 FPS at that point, it kind of gives you a little bit of an edge because, you have to kind of predict, a little bit almost, when it comes to, certain shit. So it kind of gives you almost a slight edge of being able to kind of predict movements way better in a sense, because if things are super choppy, but then you got something that's super flawless, it kind of gives you at least I don't know, to me at least it feels like, maybe it's just some sort of placebo effect, but it feels like it gives me a little bit more of a sense of edge, where it's just I can kind of handle dealing with certain situations maybe slightly better, given lag and stuff, when most players who probably don't have to worry about that type of shit, when they deal flag, they just get immediately frustrated. You know what I mean? Us peasant gamers, it's just we've been from the muck. So I feel like we're a little bit more experienced and shit. It's not like we don't want, it's not like we want it though. It's not like we want lag and low FPS and shit. Fuck it. No, we that it's bullshit. But, it does make us a little bit more battle hardened when it comes to, being a gamer. Dude, the cloak mechanics will be dope, especially for the Star Trek mod for Stellaris. Oh, dude, playing Klingons and shit would be so dope. Then you could truly be lore accurate Klingons. That'd be fucking awesome. Can you? Oh my god, look at that baby ass. Look at that chode of a light. Wow. That chode of a light. Don't worry, I'll get it up. I'll get it up there. There we go, it's up. Where's that other lighter that I just had? Is it down here? Where the fuck? So where to go? Oh no. Oh. For real though, where the fuck did it go? My 7-Eleven lighter. Oh no. Think about cyclists because you get no or cloaks, clear shields. Well, yeah, like regular cloaks do that. Like I think that's even accurate within Star Trek lore as well. Like because like the Romulan and Klingon vessels that cloak, I mean, in that particular moment when they are, you know, they don't have their shields on because that would siphon the energy for the cloak, and thus, you know, if you have like 50% in each, I mean, you just become like kind of transparent. Like you're not exactly invisible. Nullifies the whole point. So, I mean, you know, it's like either you got your shields and you can defend yourself from attacks, you know, immediately, you know, in that sense, or you can cloak and sneak up and then immediately transfer cloak to shield, you know, and then ambush, you know, which risky, but, you know, is something that, you know, can be very deadly and successful, you know, when done well, especially by an experienced captain. Which is why the Klingons love doing those type of tactics in Star Trek and shit, if you think about it. Like, their tactic is usually get a few birds of prey, you know, cloaked up, sneak up on a vessel, ambush them, you know, within, like, you know, a short distance, and then just, like, rapidly, just basically bum rush, like, weapons at them, you know, and shit, where it basically overwhelms their shields and defenses and makes for an easy, quick kill. Or easy disabling of the vessel, and thus easy to raid it. You know, so it's like, either way, like, it makes for a very successful attack and strategy if done well. And done, you know, in a good sense of, like, you know, like I said, with an experienced captain that knows what they're doing. Also fix pre-FTL premise, because Slayer can see what's going on around their world, so you cloak the observation posts so they can't see it. Oh. So even for other scientific purposes, it adds a benefit. I like that. I like that, Holmes. Did I, like, pocket the lighter for some reason? No? Man, this guy's some bullshit. I'm looking at the lighter. I found it. I left it on top of the safe. Yeah. They brought same bunch of new permanent events. Sweet. I'm gonna have to start getting into Solaris again. I'll probably do that. It's my next little game to play. Like, for example, if you reveal yourself, there's a chance the primitives panic launch nukes at your ships. What DLC do you want? I'll buy it myself. How about that? Anyway. Well, let's go for now. I'm gonna hit up my friend, see what he's up to, play some pool, and then we'll get some lunch, all that fun shit. Then, let this little pup on a walk. But you have to stay here for a little bit, sadly. I would take him to the pub, but they don't allow pups anymore. Peace out. Of course, peace out. And I will be back around for later tonight to fuck around and find out about shit. So, anyway. A toodaloo.